Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, Qualifying Disabilities for Special Education, First Part. Did you know that only 13 disabilities are eligible for special education services under IDEA? This is the first of a two-part video created to help parents of Texas students with disabilities understand the 13 categories of students who are eligible for special education services under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, and the Texas Education Agency Education Code. Understanding these categories is essential for parents seeking assistance and support within the educational system. Did you know there are specific criteria set by TEA, rather than those established by IDEA, as well as supplemental documentation available for specific disabilities? Let's start with the first of the 6 categories this video will present. The first category is autism. A student with autism is one who has a developmental disability significantly affecting verbal and nonverbal communication and social interaction, generally evident before age 3, that adversely affects a child's educational performance. Other characteristics often associated with autism include engaging in repetitive activities and stereotyped movements, resistance to environmental change or changes in daily routines, and unusual responses to sensory experiences. Autism does not apply if a child's educational performance is adversely affected primarily because the child has an emotional disability, as defined in that category definition. Students with pervasive developmental disorders are included under this category. The TEA criteria for autism align closely with IDEA, emphasizing that comprehensive assessments and observations must support the diagnosis. Next, we have deafblindness. This category refers to concomitant hearing and visual impairments, the combination of which creates communication and other developmental and educational needs so severe that they cannot be accommodated in programs solely for children with deafness or blindness. For eligibility under TEA, documentation must demonstrate that the dual impairments affect educational performance. The third category is deafness. This refers to a hearing impairment so severe that a child is unable to process linguistic information through hearing, with or without amplification, that adversely affects a child's educational performance. Both IDEA and TEA require detailed audiological evaluations to ascertain the nature of the hearing loss. Following that, we have emotional disability. It is a condition exhibiting one or more of the following characteristics over a long period of time and to a marked degree that adversely affects a child's educational performance: an inability to learn that cannot be explained by intellectual, sensory, or health factors, a failure to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationships with peers and teachers, inappropriate types of behavior or feelings under normal circumstances, a general, pervasive mood of unhappiness or depression, a tendency to develop physical symptoms or fears associated with personal or school problems. It includes conditions such as anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, depression, and schizophrenia. The term does not apply to socially maladjusted children, unless it is determined that they have an emotional disability. Texas further requires a comprehensive evaluation, including psychological assessments, to confirm eligibility. The fifth category is non-categorical early childhood. A child between the ages of 3 to 5 who is evaluated as having an intellectual disability, emotional disability, a specific learning disability, or autism may be described as non-categorical early childhood. Both IDEA and TEA emphasize the need for medical documentation to establish the impact on the child's educational performance. Next up is intellectual disability. This term has been determined to have significantly sub-average intellectual functioning as measured by a standardized, individually administered test of cognitive ability in which the overall test score is at least 2 standard deviations below the mean, when taking into consideration the standard error of measurement of the test, and concurrently exhibits deficits in at least 2 of the following areas of adaptive behavior: communication, self-care, home living, social/interpersonal skills, use of community resources, self-direction, functional academic skills, work, leisure, health, and safety. TEA requires thorough cognitive assessments and adaptive behavior evaluations to meet eligibility standards. Now that we've covered the first 6 categories, let's look at the differences between TEA and IDEA criteria. While both frameworks aim to provide appropriate education to students with disabilities, TEA may have additional documentation requirements that are specific to the state of Texas. It's essential for parents to be aware of both sets of criteria when navigating the eligibility process. For example, supplemental information is often required for specific disabilities. One such disability is autism, for which the TEA provides an autism supplement. This document outlines additional considerations for students diagnosed with autism, including specific behavioral interventions, social skills training, and individualized instruction strategies. The Autism Supplement emphasizes the importance of a tailored approach to education, as students with autism present a wide range of needs that can significantly impact their learning. This supplementary documentation also assists educational teams in creating an effective individualized education program, IEP, which is crucial for ensuring that students receive the resources and support they require. In addition to the Autism Supplement, there are other disability-specific documents and guidelines that parents should be aware of when seeking special education services. These resources provide detailed information on appropriate instructional strategies, behavioral interventions, and assessments tailored for the specific category. It is important for parents to actively participate in the evaluation process and collaborate with school personnel to gather necessary documentation. Schools may require various forms of assessments, including psychological evaluations, educational assessments, and health reports. Collecting this information will facilitate a smoother and more informed eligibility determination process. As we conclude this video, we hope you have a better understanding of the first 6 disability categories that qualify for special education services in Texas. We encourage you to reach out to your local school district to discuss the specific needs of your child and inquire about available resources. Remember, advocating for your child is critical. Understanding the eligibility criteria, documentation requirements, and available supports will empower you in navigating the educational landscape. Thank you for watching. If you need more information, contact the ARC of Harris County Wright Special Education Advocacy Services at 713-957-1600, extension 116.